I was in a social media masterclass recently when the teacher asked us what's the first thing we would do once we changed our financial situation. One of the participants said she would hire somebody to teach her how to cook and more specifically how to make bread. I thought to myself, what? Girl, you'll have the Bear Pantry show for that. Tell them, Uncle Roger.
Every time Uncle Roger looks,
Not you, my Uncle Roger.
You're watching the Bear Pantry Show.
Today I'm going to teach my own free masterclass on how to make this simple white bread. So here are the ingredients that you're going to need. Now when you go to the faucet and pour the hot water, once your fingers can't stay in the stream of water any longer because it's too hot, then you know it's hot enough, okay? So this is 1 cup of warm water, and I'm adding the active dry yeast and some of the sugar from the allotment of sugar. Some of you have asked me where I buy my yeast. I pick it up at Amazon. As you can see here, the last time I purchased this batch right here was in 2021. It's still going strong because I save my yeast in glass jars in the fridge. So now this bread calls for 1 egg. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab a little spoon here from my friend Julie and give it a stir. I really appreciate when you guys send me stuff for the show because once I use it, I think about you guys. So let me add the rest of the sugar to the flour, add the salt, the egg that we just beat, and some vegetable oil. Now I'm going to give this a stir with my Spurtle Myrtle here. This is from my friend Cindy. Thank you, Cindy. And then we're going to add the flour a little bit at a time to the wet ingredients. Okay, time to add the rest of the flour. And then just get it worked around. You can use the handle of a wooden spoon, the handle of a spatula, or you could use your hand if you want. But at this point, I'm still using this tool. And then now I'm going to get my hand in here. And all I want to do is work this sticky dough around and around in a bowl to keep gathering the dry ingredients. We're not going to need any more water. It's sticky and soft enough. Now it's time to dump it onto the countertop. And I just want to get this off my fingers as best as I can. Get some flour and then work it back and forth to knead it. Keep flouring the countertop as you need to. And then just continue to rock it back and forth and then turn it upon itself. This is the best way to describe kneading, right? And then at some point, you're going to want to stop. Well, wash your hands and dry them because kneading will be a lot easier if you get your hands clean and dry, okay? So I'm just going to continue to knead until it feels smooth. And it's getting there. This is not one of these super enriched bread like brioche that you need to knead forever, okay? Now let me go ahead and shape it into a big ball. And then put it right back into the same bowl that I kneaded it in. I didn't even wash the bowl because I don't like to do extra work. And then I'm going to go ahead and cover it up for 1 hour. You can find the full recipe for this bread in this book on page 45. And I say the full recipe because it will have the method and everything. But if you check down below in the description, I will leave you the ingredients, all right? So this book, the bread book you need that you can pick up from Amazon. Now let me set it aside before I get it dirty. And let's take a look at our dough. Voila, beautiful. So let's dump it on. Ooh, you see this? You guys, you see? There's nothing that feels better than dough to me. Okay? Well, there are a lot of things that feels better, but I'm saying dough is right up there at the top. Still have some of my flour left over. See, it's still sticky, right? So this is gonna give us 1 loaf. No, they say punch it. And I say punch it like it owes you money because I got that from another content creator years ago, One Pot Chef. I don't think he puts up videos anymore. But when I first started in YouTube almost 12 years ago, because we're coming up on our 12th year anniversary on October 23rd, when I started, I reached out to One Pot Chef a lot to ask for advice. And he was so generous to offer me great advice when he didn't even know who I was. He still doesn't know who I am. But he's always so willing to help, right? You hear it? It's squeaking. You want to get out all that air. And we're gonna bake this in a loaf pan, of course, like a 5 by 9. So I just use my rolling pin to flatten it out a tad. Go this direction. See, as I mess with it, how it loosens up even more. It's just relaxing, right? See, that looks about right for the length. So we're gonna roll it, tuck and roll like a towel. See how it's stretching longer that way? Pinch the bottom shut. And now this is not cinnamon rolls, so you don't want to leave your ends open. You want to go ahead and tuck your ends under. And I'm doing it over because we're on the bottom side of the thing. But when we flip it over, it's going to be under. That gives you a better... The slices will look better when you cut it, all right? So let me go ahead and grab some butter. And the reason that I never use margarine, in the beginning when I started my show 12 years ago, I always used to use margarine interchangeably with butter. But I learned a long time ago that your body will at least know what to do with butter, but it doesn't know what to do with margarine because it's not butter, okay? It's some type of byproduct or something. I don't know what it is. But I just heard your body don't know what to do with it, okay? There's a little bit of butter that's left on my fingers. I'm just gonna kind of work it in on the top. Let me move this bowl out your way so you can see. And it's not gonna harm anything for you to kind of squish it in the pan, so it'll make the bread take shape. See? Let's go ahead and cover it up and walk away for another, I'd say 40 minutes or so. It only took 35 minutes to rise, and the bread pudding that I'm baking for the prior video that you may have seen is not done yet. So I'm going to bake this bread at 350 degrees Fahrenheit instead of 400 that the recipe calls for. But I'm going to bake it for 5 minutes longer. So I let it go for half hour, and I'm going to dump it out and tap the bottom so you can hear what it's supposed to sound like when it's done. Did you hear that hollowness? So that's how you know that the bread is done baking. Now while it's still warm, go ahead and brush some butter on. Take a look at this butter just drizzling down right here, guys. Ooh, this looks so good. This is a sandwich bread, by the way. You're not going to buy sandwich bread ever again once you make this, all right? So now leave it alone to let it cool completely, because if you cut it too early, you're going to get a gummy middle for the bread, all right? The bread is still cooking while it's cooling down. So take a look at the slice. And then I'm going to try my best to cut the slices thin. Sometimes I turn the bread on the side to make it, you know, to cut the slices a little bit thinner. But I didn't really do a great job right here on this one. Sometimes I'll turn a loaf of bread on its top and cut it from the bottom. But you can't do that with this bread because it's too tender, okay? Let me try to get one more slice. And I did a short where I made some Spam sandwich. And I'm going to use some of this bread right now to make some Spam sandwich. So I have my Spam already made out with my salad dressing and the peppers and onion and everything. Just put it together. And do you cut diagonally or do you cut like this? I always cut my sandwiches like this. Take a look, guys. When Joe first woke up today, the living room was bright like this, and then within a few minutes it got dark like this. So he came and got me because he thought something was wrong with his eyes. When I came out here and saw how dark it was, I was kind of panicked because it looked ominous. That is until I found out that we had a total eclipse of the heart today, guys. How come it's so dark?
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking my eyes fool me.
This is the Beth Andrews Show.